The new parts have arrived from the factory without issue. They'll be fitted to the car in time for the next session.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2018 Career Mode. Today we are here for the Russian Grand Prix, but if you guys did miss the last race, then do check it out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. It was a crazy race at Singapore, and pretty much a 40-minute episode, two 40-minute episodes in a row, which is unheard of on my channel. I never do videos that long, but the last two races have been absolutely crazy, and we arrive here at Russia with a couple of upgrades in the car. However, the big movers this weekend are Haas and Renault. Also, McLaren are actually now the slowest team, as Williams and Saab have overtaken them. So a lot of moves in the lower half, but Haas and Renault really pushing and making a massive stride to really become top teams in Formula 1. And this could become potentially a 7-car scrap for the best car in Formula 1 if they keep on pushing at this current rate. And going into Friday practice at Russia, I was looking forward to it because we've had a really good run lately. The last couple of races have been absolutely phenomenal. And, we got our first win in Monza. And, that was absolutely great feeling. And then in Singapore as well, absolutely the crazy race. Qualifying was crazy. The podium was mental. All three podium finishes were a shock. And we arrive here and anything's possible. Last season we struggled here a bit. This season I'm hoping to do better. And unfortunately after practice I was having a bit of a mixed reaction. The car felt good and I felt confident. Race pace seemed decent, however qualifying pace was looking a bit tricky. I'm not really sure why. Gasly seemed to be struggling a bit as well, which kind of gave me a bit of it made me feel a bit better about myself. It wasn't just me having a bit of an off day. But all in all, the car felt great, and that's the main thing. I felt I could attack the racetrack. For some reason, I was just losing a bit of time in qualifying, and I couldn't explain why. So hopefully, we can try and convert that pace into something positive in Saturday. But first of all, in this practice session, I was using an old engine. I was using power unit number 2, and we're going to now switch to the newer power unit 3/4. That should give us a bit more extra horsepower to really find those extra tenths of a second in the ultimate qualifying performance, especially when we crank it up to the max engine mode, and hopefully it will work out for us. But all in all, Russia, overcast conditions, no rain expected, not for practice, not for qualifying, not for the race. To be fair, it's been a while since we've actually had rain in this series, and it's good in a way because there's a nice consistency when it comes to the weather. And you know what to expect, so I kind of like that in a way. And overall, we're going to get going here in Q1. And to be honest with you, my target, as per usual, is Q3. And we want to try and see if we can, get a good result realistically. I think like here last season, I got knocked out in Q1, I want to say. I think we qualified 17th last year, so a bit of a bogey track last season. I'm kind of hoping that we can avoid that and do better second time round. I mean, to be fair, in Singapore in the latest race we did a massive improvement on last season. I'm hoping for more of the same here today. And Q1 was underway, and as you can see we're currently on the Hypersoft compound tyres, trying to really maximise the lap time. In Q1, as per usual, we always go on the Hypers now, or in this case the fastest tyre available, and try and absolutely go for it and just try our hardest to beat the lap time and try and get the job done with one run and save tyres for later on. I have to say that my lap was a bit scruffy, not the best lap, P14, and to be fair, I took a risk, but we still got through into Q2 because even though we're P15 on the bubble, there was a couple of tenths to Lance Stroll, and all in all, it was pretty comfortable. Force India took first and second by like 7 tenths of a second to clear anybody else. They dominated Q1. And in Q2, we went out first of all in the Ultras, and we went last place alongside Gasly there, so we're both struggling here. And then we went back out on a fresh set of Hypersoft tyres. So let's run on board now for a full lap of the Sochi Autodrom, and let's see how this lap goes now. The flag has dropped, we crossed on a couple of seconds to spare. Turn 1 obviously flat out, you can't really consider that a corner. Turn 2, 100 metre board, you want to go down to gear 4, really attack that first curve without cutting the corner, which is critical. And then now through the kink of 3, and a very nice, this is probably the best corner on the track, next to the Kvyat grandstand as we now go to turn 4. You want to really have a lot of patience through here to pick up the throttle. I got a little bit wider, very lucky time to get my lap invalidated there as we now go to turn 5. However, my DRS has gone offline, and that is really annoying, and that's really sort of, it took my concentration away, I've got to be honest with you. It kind of, I don't know why, it's just a mental thing. I just lost focus for a bit, and my lap got a bit scruffy. I missed my apex there, got a bit wide, and I'm looking behind this because it felt like my DRS was left open, not shut. And there was all these mental things going through my head, and basically we didn't really improve on that ultra soft middle sector, which was kind of annoying. and ultimately a lot of lap time lost, and now we're literally bleeding lap time with DRS not being able to be open on the back straight here as we brake late for this right-hander. A bit of a curved entry, now we got under the bridge, swooping the car left underneath, getting the traction down super early, and now into this very tricky off-cambered left. Really want to attack the curb here, and then through the right as well. A lot of time to be gained if you get it right. And now finally 2 more corners to go here. 4th gear action for the penultimate corner. Make sure you don't run wide on the exit here. And finally the final corner. Avoid the bollard, unlike in Q1, and up to the line. And that is a lap of the Sochi Autodrom. Unfortunately though, it's going to be a rare Q2 knockout and P13. You could put it down maybe the DRS being closed, but I still think we didn't have the pace to get ourselves through. However, we beat Gasly. Gasly only got P15. I don't think he got a good lap in though. That's the only problem. However, we just didn't have the pace and it was disappointing. So hopefully we can turn it around tomorrow in the race, in the Russian Grand Prix. Let's go.
Good afternoon from Sochi as we prepare to get underway for the Russian Grand Prix. The championship battle has some time to go yet, but still expect no quarter to be given here on this circuit that made its debut in 2014 and has already seen some classic racing. Built on the shores of the Black Sea, the Sochi Autodrom is a 3.6-mile tour around some of the venues built for the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. Close barriers may make overtakes more challenging, but with 56% of the lap taken absolutely flat out, we certainly won't be wanting for pure speed. A fitting arena then to do battle at the pinnacle of motorsport. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Kimi Raikkonen's perfect lap yesterday sees him start from pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Ricciardo, Sergio Perez, and Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Sainz, Ocon, and Max Verstappen. They've taken a grid penalty. Grosjean, Hamilton, Martinez, and Leclerc, Gasly, Alonso, Sergei Sirotkin, and Marcus Ericsson. Van Dorn and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Right, here we are then on the grid for the Russian Grand Prix. P13 after qualifying, and the struggle is real. We don't have great pace around here, and I've got no answer for it. I mean, you saw where Gasly qualified. He's actually behind me. We managed to out-qualify him. I don't think he managed to get a decent lap together. I think he still went fast in Q1, but even then, I mean, you can just feel when it doesn't feel great, and we definitely don't have the pace around here. So it's going to be a struggle. We're going to have to work for it, and in order to try and put off the best possible result here today, strategy-wise, we're going to start on the Ultra Soft, the fresh Ultra, and move over to a fresh Hyper. Now, the AI are going to probably do a Hyper Ultra one-stop. It's going to be close. Those who did qualify and put a lap on the Hyper might just go to a two-stop. It's very, very close, very marginal. I'm going to assume everyone's going for the one-stop today, so we need to pass people on track. So it's important that this first stint on the Ultra is great, and that we're in the race come the pit stop, and that way we can really attack the race on the Hypersoft at the end. It's a very straightforward race, a one-stopper, and we're basically relying on having better race pace than qualifying pace. With that being said, I feel more confident with my Sunday pace, so let's see if that is true. It's time for the Russian Grand Prix. Right, let's go. Here we go. Russian Grand Prix, not my favourite, but let's give it a good go. 5 red lights, and we are on the way. It's a decent start actually, but Leclerc gets an absolutely insane launch. We get boxed in here slightly. Trying to stay in that slipstream if I can. I'm trying to stand to the right. Oh my god, I'm good on the brakes. I did not expect that. Careful, careful, careful. Patience. That completely caught me off guard how early the AI broke there. Luckily we didn't hit anyone. Kept our front wing in one piece. We've got past Verstappen and Lewis in the process, which is pretty crazy. On the exit here, let's see if we have any race pace and maybe get past Grosjean here. Also the Renaults of Hülkenberg and Sainz going side by side with Magnussen, so it's literally Haas versus Renault at the moment here in the midfield. I definitely think we can beat the Renaults and the Haas boys if we have good race pace on this tyre here today. Those are going to be pretty easy to get. Oh my god, we bumped the back of Grosjean there. He got on the brakes mid-corner very heavily, and I had to really get out of it. And look at the breakaway already. The top 6 have really pulled away. These next 4 cars in front of us are the cars that we need to pass to really get some good points today and make it a good race weekend. So let's focus on getting past these guys if we can. No one's going for any moves. into the right hander, so it's all going to be very much line of stern at the moment as we go into the final sector, which is my strongest sector of the entire circuit. As Grosjean goes defensive here into the left, he's going to be on the back foot. We're going to try and swing back underneath, power on nice and early. Grosjean though gets some great acceleration. We're going to go around the outside though. I'm going to find the grip. Grosjean with a very compromised line. I'm going to switch back underneath him into the final corner. He's going to be vulnerable, no slipstream for him, so this is my chance to get past. No DRS enabled yet, so it's all going to have to be just raw slipstream, and that Haas is going pretty damn well on a straight, I've got to say. Impressive stuff. Up the inside of turn 2. Job done, yellow flag in front of us. Someone's had a problem. It seems, or might be behind actually. Looks like someone's pulled over. Yeah, there's been a bit of a pile-up behind us. Not sure what's happened as Hulkenberg and Sainz come to blows. It's all kicking off here in Sochi. But it's a great start from us into the top 10. And the possibility of getting to the top 8. Lewis Hamilton out of the race. Oh wow, that is a massive retirement early on. Don't know what happened to Lewis, but he's had a bit of a disastrous weekend. But Hamilton is out of the Russian Grand Prix. Wow, that is huge. We are now on the back of Hulkenberg though. Alonso out of the race as well. Second retirement in this race already. It must have been a pile-up or something. Either way, let's focus on the racing here. In Hulkenberg slipstream, can we try and get past the Renault? Here we go. Picking up the toe. He's going to go to the left. I'm going to go to the right. On the brakes up the inside. It's a late move. Hulkenberg holds on to the inside line. We're going to go around the outside and get the power down. This tyre is working well so far. I've got to say I'm impressed. And we're now at P9. Up next, Carlos Sainz. The DRS is enabled this lap. Here we go then. On the back of Sainz, I've caught up to him. We've got great pace at the moment in this race. I can't complain. Car's working beautifully, especially on this tyre. Here we go. Picking up the toe on Sainz. I want to go to the inside this time. And it's a very comfortable move. P8 and a purple middle sector. Let's keep this going here. We've definitely got the pace. Let's try and catch up to Magnussen and get into that best of the rest position if possible. Look at that, fast up at the Grand Prix. Grosjean's even faster, but that's not the point. We are flying on these ultra softs, which is great news. Let's keep going here. We're not really using much battery either, which is good, so we're going to be very, very quick this race, I think. Right, at the moment we're catching up to the leaders here. Bottas was leading the Grand Prix. He's now been overtaken by Ferrari. I'm expecting the race pace at the front to pick up, but myself and Magnussen here are really catching up to these guys. I'm not sure what's going on. I'd like to get ahead of Magnussen before we catch up to the train, so that way we get first crack at the slow leaders. But we are right in this race and we are coming alive here. Pace is great on these tyres, and then we're going to go into the hypersoft, so I cannot wait. Car is on rails and it seems like the leaders are struggling for pace. Bottas has remained in the lead, so as long as he's in first place, it looks like the race pace is going to be pretty slow because that Mercedes is not really working around here, yet somehow Bottas is still staying in the lead, so something doesn't quite add up there. Either way, here we go. DRS now on Magnussen. Unfortunately, he has DRS on the car in front, so it's going to be a bit harder to execute the pass. Okay, interestingly enough, a Ferrari comes in. Not sure which one that is, but I think it might be right. Yeah, Raikkonen's in. We are right on the back of Magnussen here. If I can pick up the toe before the DRS. Now, he's going to have DRS anyway, but we're going to carry the speed and the momentum. We're going to opt for the outside line here. Have we got the speed? Oh yes, what a fantastic move that is. A little bit of drifting, but it got the job done with P6 now. What a great race so far. We can win this. We can absolutely win this race, and I don't know where that's come from compared to Saturday qualifying. Vettel and Perez going side by side here. Vettel gets back ahead, but this battling is really costing the AI time. It seems like the AI really lose time battling, and this lead pack has basically been battling all race long. And it looks like Ocon might be coming in. No, he doesn't. He's just going defensive. We're going to go for the switchback. Little switcheroo. There it is. Ocon committing way too much that defensive maneuver. And we get past the Force India. Right, good progress. P5 now. We can definitely get to second place. And then from there, let's try and hunt down Bottas. Right then, let's get past Ricciardo. Let's work towards that as Perez and Vettel go side by side one more time here into turn 1, or turn 2 should I say. Through the swooping left of turn 3 now. Ricciardo's lurking. He's also looking pretty dangerous here today. I wonder if we can get past Ricciardo here. We know that Red Bull's not mega quick on the straight. Might be our chance. He has got DRS and a pretty good toe on the Ferrari in front. And it's not quite going to work there, unfortunately. However, you never know. Could set him up for a switchback. This final sector basically consists of switchbacks. Ricciardo goes very, very narrow there. Switchback. Oh, that was close. Perez actually goes into the pit lane. Ricciardo does not. We don't get the best line through there though. I'm going to switch him back again through the final corner on the power nice and early. Let's get this one done. Actually, I'm not going to use rich mix, I don't need it. Flying up to the back of Ricciardo here. Swooping to the right. Job done. P3. Right then. Vettel's in clean air now. I'm curious to see what pace he has. And also Bottas is somehow still leading. But during this time, Raikkonen came in. He's going to be on that undercut. I think he's on a two-stop strategy. But he's going to be in clean air and able to push. So I'm curious to see how this all plays out. But right now, we are definitely in a podium position. Or thereabouts. Let's keep this up. Seb and Bottas out for one more lap. Looks like Sebastian's finding a little bit of pace. And we're closing up to Valtteri here. But I'm still within Sebastian's DRS on these Ultra Softs. Which, by the way, are holding up beautifully there. Only 20% wear on the rears. I'm way too hot there. That's going to have to be a straight line. There we go. Didn't get the corner cut warning, which is good. Let's get back up to speed. Okay, Sebastian and also Valtteri come in. So that is going to promote us now into the race lead. So with that said, it's now time to pick up the pace a bit. We're going to crank out. We've got plenty of battery to use. And let's try and consume the ERS. DRS has run out again, unfortunately. With the rear flap's gone offline. Second session running. We did it in qualifying, so that's not good. Either way, we're not going to need it. Luckily, it stayed closed and not open like Silverstone. So let's get a head down. And let's try and set some decent lap times. At the moment, my pace is great. I mean, I'm about a second off my personal best every lap. But I'm a consistent second. And the thing is, the AI, everyone that came in are just caught up in traffic, trying to get past those who are also on one-stoppers, starting on the Ultra Soft, like Marcus Ericsson and Charles Leclerc, also Pierre Gasly as well. You can see only Raikkonen now is P3, and he's 20 seconds behind me, so this is interesting. At the moment, it's all working out beautifully for me. We still have another 4 more laps to go on these tyres, but for now, I can't complain. Things are going great. I'm starting to really suffer now from severe understeer. I'm losing about 1.5, nearly 2 seconds a lap per lap to Kimi Raikkonen. I think now I'm going to rejoin at the moment as things stand in that battle with Vettel, Ricciardo and a Haas from what I can see on the minimap. So it's going to be thereabouts. I'm trying to burn up my last bit of ERS while I still have some pace left. We're coming in next lap, so let's try and give it our all. Our last bit of pace. Raikkonen has just come in as well, so the gap to Perez is the reference gap, 18 seconds. Look at that, Pierre Gasly with the first lap of the Grand Prix. Goes to show this car's working pretty good. We're coming in this lap though. I'm just trying to push as much as I can on my in lap. Right then, into the pit lane. First no stop of the Grand Prix. I'm going to try something different though, because I keep on getting BS penalties and I'm kind of getting annoyed. So there we go. Right, that's the best way to do it. I've flashed back to about 25 times to try and get that. No way to do it other than what I've just done basically. That's the only way we're going to be able to do the pit lane without getting a BS penalty. So yeah, for me, you can say what you want in the comments, but the game's not working, so it's not my fault. Right, 2.4 stop, onto the Hypersofts. Perez, Ocon and Bottas are going to drive by, and that's a question of where we're going to rejoin in amongst this sort of midfield pack here. There's Vettel coming down the pit lane now, or the home straight should I say. We're getting up to speed. It's going to be a drag race down to the first corner here. Ricciardo to my left. Can we race him down to turn 2? Yes we do. We hold the inside. Nicely done there. I'm going to leave it in rich mix until we save enough ERS so I can push. We're going to burn off this extra fuel, but we're P5 on fresh hypers. This is looking good. The amount of grip I have on these is ridiculous. We are so fast. On the back of Vettel here, on the power, nice and early. Let's pick up the slipstream. I'm just going to use rich mix. I want to try and save ERS. Now we can use it a little bit to get past, but then straight back down to none to really make sure we get it all saved up whilst we burn off the remaining of our rich mix and basically push in clean air with a full battery. I'm looking forward to this. This could be a very exciting stint. The race win might be tricky. Depends how long these tyres hold up for. I need these tyres to stay with me the entire way. But if they do, we could be competitive. Right, fuel's done. Now it's time to use battery. Let's go. Purple final sector. It's race time. There we go. Fastest lap 32.2. Getting a hammer down. No pun intended. Trying to catch up to Valtteri Bottas here for that podium. Absolutely flying around the circuit at 30. Even faster still. Got down to 3.1. It's not coming down as much as I'd hope. Bottas and I think that's Perez or Ocon. I'm not sure who it is. They have great pace. It's like Bottas is staying in the slipstream and it's helping him out. But I think we will catch. Oh, yellow flag. And it looks like Ocon and Stroll have had a problem here. I'm not really sure what to do. I wasn't going to go through the middle because I thought Ocon was going slow, but he's got back up to speed. Either way, Stroll's had a problem. And now that's put us right on the back of Esteban Ocon here, going on to lap 21. Here we go. On the home straight then. Look at that Force India go. Oh my days. Right, we're going to have to use maximum engine modes here. That Force India is incredible on a straight. We're gaining though. Ocon goes defensive. We commit at the inside. It's a late lunge, but it's a nice move, a definitive move, because we had to get that one done. We really had to, because that Force India, I can see why Bottas now was having such a good time just tagging in the slipstream when he doesn't really have to pace, because that car just flies on the straights. Oh, again, DRS offline. Third time this weekend. This keeps on happening. Frustrating when you're trying to overtake people. Either way, we're in the podium position, which is good news. Right to the final corner here. Onto lap 23. A little bit far back from Bottas, but VSC deployed. Interesting. We've not had one of them in a while. Either way, that's going to let me save some fuel on some ERS, which is good news. I was about to line up a pass on Bottas, potentially I was a bit far back. Either way, it gives me a chance to cool off my tyres and also get fuel and ERS back on target. I think it's that slow Williams. That slow Williams is still going around on the back straight there. Lance Stroll. Not sure what he's trying to do, but he's been going around slowly now for like 4 laps. Okay, VSC ending. Let's get ready for the restart here. There we go. We've timed that beautifully. DRS enabled. Let's try and have an attack on Bottas here. Unfortunately, we're not going to get DRS somehow on the back straight, but I'm going to have Rich Mix and full ERS deployed to try and catch him up anyway, and we should be on the back of him next time around on the home straight. Here we go, final corner with a bit of a drift included. Rich Mix engaged. Lap 24, this could be the one. Overtake ERS now. Bottas nowhere near as fast as the Force India. We don't have DRS because our DRS is offline, so we need to do it manually. And the old-fashioned way up the inside though is a lovely move. And we are into second place in the Russian Grand Prix. What an incredible recovery through the field. Still can't explain where we found this pace from. Last lap. Tyres have really hit the cliff all of a sudden. And Ocon's got a chance. He's 8 tenths behind. Is he close enough? Watch how that Force India just flies on the straight. He's not close enough though, so we're going to stay ahead. But these Hypersofts have now hit the cliff badly here, so we're going to be on the back foot this last lap. Right, all comes down to this. Critical to get good traction out of here. Not great, but not the worst. Rich Mix, I'm using whatever I've got left here. Here comes Ocon, we're going to force him to the outside. Does he commit? Yeah, I'm going to force him wide, squeeze him out. There it is, fantastic, textbook stuff. And we hold on to our second place. Perez, my championship rival, is going to unfortunately come home to win the race. But I don't mind, Vettel's the man that's taken the heavy blow this weekend and the big fat L. Myself and Perez will take a W. I'm second in the championship, so for me this is a win anyway. From P13 on the grid to second place. What an incredible race here at the Russian Grand Prix. Wow, that was much better than last season's race. What a performance, and a massive 18 points.
It's Force India on the top step.
Right, so looking at the final race result, Sergio Perez wins the Russian Grand Prix. We come home in second place ahead of Esteban Ocon. Bottas P4, Daniel Ricciardo 5th ahead of Max Verstappen. Sebastian Vettel only P7 in the Ferrari. And Carlos Sainz in the Renault 8th place, great result for him. Kevin Magnussen P9 and Pierre Gasly also fighting back through the field from P15, and he finishes in the points in P10, just about ahead of Marcus Ericsson there. Charles Leclerc, Kimi Raikkonen all miss out on points, as does Romain Grosjean. And further down the order, Hamilton and Alonso DNFing from the Grand Prix. In terms of the driver standings though, Perez overtakes me for second place. However, the gap at the top is closer than ever. Vettel only 6 points clear of Perez and 12 points clear of myself, and it's getting very, very tense now in the championship. In terms of the constructors though, Freud lead the way by 47 points over Force India. Force India starting to mount a bit of a constructors challenge now, and their car is getting so strong. We are currently very comfortably holding down third place at the moment, and we are currently unchallenged by anybody, so that is great news for us. But now let's move to the laptop and get some upgrades on the car.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you? You must be happy with the result today. It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it? Appreciate your time.
Right, so we have our next contract window. Unfortunately, we failed the team goal, which was qualify 4th or better, which, I mean, that was unrealistic. I was never going to qualify P4 anytime soon. As good as the results have been, my race pace is my strong point, not my qualifying pace. So we only have 1,100 points to spend. However, let's start this contract and let's see what we can get out of it.
It's time for us to renegotiate your contract. Here you can see the current deal. Once negotiations begin, the team will make you an offer. You can accept if you like, but I strongly suggest we push for better terms.
Right, let's go for the first one. We've maxed out basically everything to level 3. Qualifying 8th, finishing the race in 5th. First driver bonus, let's see what happens.
We're asking for too much here. We need to make some compromises.
That's fair enough, to be expected. Right, this is when we start cutting down, so let's work on the next one. Right, we've knocked down simultaneous development from level 3 to level 2, so let's see what they say.
They aren't coming round to that proposal. Let's try something else.
Right, we have to try one more time. So, right, I'm keeping things as they are, but I'm giving myself harder targets. So 7th in qualifying and 4th in the race. Let's see if they accept.
I'm afraid negotiations have broken down, and there's nothing more I can do. Luckily, we had the team's original offer to fall back on, so we've agreed to those terms. We'll have another chance to negotiate down the road.
Right, let's see what these terms are. So, qualify 11th, finish 11th, second driver, hard team goals. That's pretty cool. That's better than the last contract we got when the last time the negotiations broke down. So, I'm not complaining. Upgrade time has been reduced though, so let's have a look at the R&D tree. Let's see what we can potentially get now. Looking at the rest of the season, the aero and the chassis need to catch up to the engine, the aero especially. We are going to some pretty aero-heavy tracks, you know, with tracks like Japan, where you want to have a good car underneath you. Mexico for that second sector, Brazil as well. I think it's going to be time to improve the aero. And to be fair, there's two options. We either go for the cheaper ones or we go for the big upgrades. I think I want to go for the big ones, you know, because we want to try and cut the drag on the car, make the car a lot more efficient. So we're going to go for the upgrade there, and that will arrive in USA. Hopefully that will help us out and give us a nice performance boost, which, as you can see right now, it's very close. Haas and Renault are really pushing towards us at the moment, and in terms of the upgrades with that, that should push us back into the second place position, depending on what other teams do for upgrades. But all in all, a good episode here today, guys. If you have enjoyed it, drop a like on the video. Also, get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content, turn on notifications so don't miss a single video from me, and finally, check out these two videos on screen if you have missed them. But other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.